Alright, great. Yeah, we have a bit of filler, so thanks for waiting. We're giving Shiner a couple hours of extra rest. Because we know how Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne can be. We're not, most of us are well aware of things. So anyways, hopefully, I quickly balanced the audio for this game. But anyways, this is Kalpa. This is a relatively, well, I wouldn't say it's a new game. It's sort of like a reboot or a port of the otherwise original mobile game that used to be on mobile devices. This is a 4K focused rhythm game. There is 5 key. But we're going to be doing 4 key. We're going to be doing the story mode songs specifically. So I'm just going to go ahead and open my notes for that, so that I know the order. There you go. Pull those over to the side. Cool. Anyways, so this is a visual novel. It might not look it, but it's a visual novel. It's also a rhythm game. I can actually show that it's a visual novel. So there is a whole visual novel section here, as you can see. But yeah, there's just like a whole bunch of chapters and stuff. It takes like 8+ hours to go through, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. What happened to my game? Did it just decide to? Oh yeah, I went into the chapter. Anyways, but yeah, it's an entire visual novel. As you can see, there's all of these sections for the main story. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, so we're going to be heading into free play. There is an April Fool's event running. If we see it pop up, we're going to be avoiding it. And I might need to turn down the game a bit more, but it looks like we should be okay. Alright, so we're doing story, and we're starting off with a song called Pathfinder, with the narrative experience. So, and we'll also be doing this, we'll start on hard, and then towards a bit we'll go into the other difficulties, just to kind of warm up. So there's 32 songs in the story mode that we'll be going through. The game ranges all the way up to Cosmos, which is the highest difficulty. We'll be starting in the middle of those. And because this is a visual novel focused game, it has a narrative experience, so we'll be getting a lot of like in-music cutscenes while we're playing. And that'll kind of give you an idea of what the story's like outside of the actual visual novel portion of the game. We're also playing on 5.5 times speed, and I only started playing this game over the last couple of months. If you're around for December, I was working on Match VP, which was a interesting multi-lane rhythm game that allowed for mixing of 2 or more songs together. Whereas this game is a visual novel experience with cinematics. All also made by very talented people that have been around the rhythm game scene for quite a while, making games and music. But we're gonna be here to vibe. And I'm also not the greatest rhythm game player either. But I've been spending hundreds and hundreds of hours over the last year getting back into them since my departure of them a decade ago. So it's been a nice experience. So anyways, that was the opening. That's why it's relatively short. We're going to be doing Symphony of Revival. Which is at 11. So we immediately go from a 6 to an 11. And this is on the medium difficulty, by the way, so the songs do jump a little bit, and the complexity of the charts will get more, and I'll just restart that. And some of them start really quickly as well. So you'll start seeing that, and then we'll push towards the Cosmos difficulties just to kind of showcase that a little bit. Because normally I would do these all on hard, but we can't do some of these on Cosmos. I'm not the greatest at Cosmos yet, especially when I'm not warmed up, but we can give them a shot because they're very fun to play. But the other thing is, on the results screen, you probably noticed that we have a companion, and we can change the character that appears on that results screen as well. So we might do that a couple times throughout the showcase. But yeah, the main character of the game is a character named Kalpa, and the story revolves around finding out about her past, because she had forgotten what her purpose in life is. And we're traveling the cosmos, or the universe, to kind of figure that out, alongside the performer, which is us. So we are a very integral part of the story as the player, in helping Kalpa figure out why she's here, as well as what happened to us prior to us finding Kalpa. And I'm going to skip over a lot of the details related to the story, because it's stuff that you want to actually do the visual novel portion of it for, but we don't have enough time for that in the filler, obviously, because it's like 8+ hours. But I figured I'd give you the visual story experience and the summary of it. And if you want to actually see more details about it, we can definitely do that. So next up we have Tadashi. Again, I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these names correctly, which I apologize for. But yeah, and then we meet up with a pair of sisters who rescue us from floating in space. And we agree to go on a bit of a journey as they help us to figure out what's going on, and why we have the sense of impending doom, and about what's happening in the world. So we're trying to seek out answers. And we'll also have boss fights as well, so we'll be coming up into some boss fights, and you'll know when there's a boss fight. The game makes it very clear when there's a boss fight song to do. But things start off pretty simple, at least when you're not doing Cosmos stuff. But we'll up the ante, just for you. My fingers might suffer a little bit, but I think we can manage. Pretty basic patterns and stuff right now. But I can guarantee this stuff gets a lot more complicated and much faster with a lot of the songs as well. And with most rhythm games, the grading is based on accuracy as well. Accuracy is very important. Even if you miss a note or two, your accuracy is a little bit more valuable when it comes to getting a good rating. And getting in a rating in the 90s, 95s, depending on the difficulty of the song, can be easier or harder, especially when you're playing songs on the harder charting ends. So our next song here is going to end up being Casualty, which is our first sort of like mini boss fight. And that'll be our first introduction to a character that we end up meeting called Len. And she's quite a character. She tries to lock us up in a dungeon, and we escape. But this fight is done in 2 separate songs. So we'll be doing the first introduction fight here. So now we're starting to see like a bit of staircasing. We'll see that quite a bit throughout the other songs quite often. Alright, so there's Lynn, but that's not what... That's what Lynn will look like through most of the story experience when you do the visual novel portion of the game. However, Lynn's got a very interesting get-up and appearance when she's angry, which I kind of like. I like her alternate appearance. And that goes with some of the other characters as well. I know we've had some tech issues with stream quality throughout the event, but hopefully everything's looking decent so far. Anyways, the character that we have on the results screen is Tag. Like I said, we can kind of change the characters as well pretty easily. So we have Tag there. We have Lynn. I'm going to switch to Kalpa for a little bit. And then we have our next fight here, which is actually called Lynn. Which is rated around the same difficulty as the previous song, but quite a bit harder. I haven't done it yet on Cosmos, but I have done the majority of every other song on Cosmos at this point. But yeah, you can definitely tell it's a boss song. And I like the visuals for these story songs quite a bit. Hello, hello again. I am reading chat while playing, by the way. I probably won't be able to do that if we do up the ante on some of the into Cosmos towards the end, even though it says that we're doing hard. Cosmos stuff I won't be able to read chat at all during, unfortunately, just because there's a lot of part reading to be done. Focus. Because ideally I'm going to go for full clears on every single song when possible. Cosmos stuff. Full clears on that for me right now are a little bit out of the question. I'm gonna miss at least a few notes or more on those. But full clearing every song on hard, very doable. Hard mode songs scale up to 16, whereas Cosmos scales all the way up to 20. So, aside from there only being 4 more difficulty ups from the hardest song on hard mode, with the hard charting, the difference between hard and Cosmos, even if it was at the same difficulty rating, is based on the pattern complexities and densities and things like that, which matter a lot. So next we have Hazard. So after beating Lynn, we end up going to one of the planets there to get more leads on the end of the world that supposedly is coming. And we're needing to make an emergency landing there, because we got our ship damaged in the process of flying through space. But yeah, songs are a bop, for sure. Oops, I missed a note, unfortunately. That's fine. But yeah, we'll definitely, hopefully hit some Cosmos stuff. We might actually do that at the very, very end once we get through the warm-up of the initial part of the story, because, like, the difficulty is going to pick up in a few more songs. Some of the hardest songs in the story are 16s, and they took me quite a while to pull clear. Or at least get all combo is what I'm talking about. So unfortunately, I dropped a note there. That was my bad. Go ahead here. We can swap to Lynn for the next song, because we end up meeting a couple other characters very soon as well. So next song is Psychometry. And while we're on the planet fixing our ship at the mechanics, we end up hearing about a lead about some kind of mercenary group with a character known as S. And we try to track her down and confront her to see if she has any leads, and or can help us figure out what's going on. And we'll be running into several other characters as well through the story. And we'll have some boss fights coming up again soon. So this song is playing as we're like going through the city streets. As we hear a commotion, and then we head towards the back alley and then end up confronting and finding S, who is running away from the authorities. Thank you so much, Systematic, for that wonderful contribution. Been a long-time supporter and lurker of the stream. Thank you very much. Hope you're taking care of yourself as well during your time between work. Alright, so now we have to do Ignite. After talking with S about what was going on, we end up getting everything we need to get the ship repaired, and we're about ready to take off from the planet here on our next creditable lead, so that we can go meet up with somebody that we heard about called Libra, who's apparently a guardian, and their duty is to kind of protect the order, natural order of the world. So we'll be seeing Libra soon. We'll be seeing S as well, and several other characters, along with some boss fight music. Yeah, the music in this game is pretty phenomenal. And the funny thing is, initially when I was getting into the game, I figured most of the music would be like, because it's called Kalpa Cosmic Symphony, would be like sort of orchestral, you know, like pianos, violins, that kind of stuff, like. But nope, very much quite a good variety of stuff outside of that, which is nice. But I'm a big fan of piano pieces and classical style music. So it's got a bit of everything to appreciate, which is super nice. Alright, so off to another song called My Heaven. So this song plays as we're heading, after we get off into orbit, as we're heading through the time travel gate, or not time travel gate, but the warp gate to get to the next planet. So we need to activate the gate. But yeah, outside of the visual novel portion of the game, you'd be playing these songs in between chapter sections. Yeah, in the middle of the episodes. Like I said, there's 32 of them that you'd be doing from the story mode alone. Hard is by default is the hardest difficulty you can do in story mode, unless you do some customized settings. So it's just what I've played the most of initially when getting into the game. You can play the song on easy or on story mode, which means the game self-plays for you. Because again, like I said, this is a visual novel. So if you don't want to actually do the rhythm game portion, you can just go through the story with the game auto-playing for you. If that's not your thing. But yeah, if you want to play the game, you can play on easy, hard, or on Cosmos. And the game has another system under the hood that's separate from story, but is related to player progression and how well they were doing by playing the game, which unlocks eventually over time. They changed the unlock requirements for it a while back. And you used to be able to unlock a mode called Astral, which added extra challenge to a lot of the songs with the charting. And that used to be at 16, which I'm at, but they changed it to 18 to just have a bit more natural growth before getting into it. Alright, so now once we get on to the next planet, we end up encountering two new characters. Lovey and her sister Tag is like their caller. And yeah, they're a bunch of mischief makers. And quite an introduction song for them. So this is Lovey and Tag. So if you like waifus, this game's got a lot of that too. It's a visual novel, it's a rhythm game, it's got waifus, banger music. Pretty good story, I would say. I'm not really too into visual novels, but it's quite the treat. But yeah, this is really lots of lore, so we're doing the story mode songs because they have the visual cinematics, like I was talking about. But like I said, doing my best to kind of summarize the story as we go through them, without spoiling it for anybody that maybe wants to pick up the game and go through the story themselves. So there's a lot of like finer details I'm skipping over. It's 8 hours worth of reading. So it's like, I'm not gonna remember it all, I apologize. But yeah, we're starting to see the complexity jump up with some of those songs, which is nice. Alright, so we'll be having another song come out here. I'm just gonna swap characters. We're gonna switch to Lovey now. Just gonna keep switching as we meet the characters. So now after that song we have to do World Breaker. Because like I said, we're going to meet a character, Libra, and we already talked about a character named S. They don't like each other. Libra's been chasing S around for quite a while apparently, and stuff starts getting destroyed in the city, and tensions start rising, sorry, and they're having a bit of a showdown. But S is not who Libra and everybody else is led to believe. Oops. Oh well. Yeah, so this is 14. And we will have a boss fight coming up against S very shortly here as well. So much like what we were seeing with Lynn, we're gonna get one with her. Unfortunately, I dropped it a little early there once the song started picking up a bit, but hey, perfect. I'm still on the lower end what skilled player is for RGs anyways. Alright, so we have Insane Strategy now. We have Insane Strategy, so apparently we're going to head on out and try to confront S, as I mentioned. We were just watching Libra and S have a showdown. Now we're going to get ready for our showdown and assist Libra against what's going on and protect the rest of the city. What's left of it. Still weird to me that this is technically a visual novel, but also a rhythm game at the same time, and it used to be on mobile platforms before they ported and remade it, basically. I don't have any more like finer details about what the mobile version of the game looks, other than that it used to be a not on PC in its earlier years and iterations. So I assume at some point, maybe it was a gacha game, I have no idea. I'm not even sure what you would do with a visual novel focused game. They definitely shifted gears with it and made it a very fun rhythm game, I would say. So far chat's been enjoying that. We're blazing through the set right now. So we have our boss fight coming up against S, as I was mentioning. I really like the visuals, particularly in this one. Probably one of the early impressive visuals. Aside from the Bloody Sisters song that we heard earlier with Lovey and her sister Tag. But this is S. So during the whole time we're doing this site, we're trying to release the darkness within her that's corrupting her soul. Because Ass apparently has like sort of like a split personality that takes over her at times, and it's not the real her. So, we have this little bit of a flashback thing in there when apparently S and Libra used to be very much loving friends. As we can see there, how adorable. But, yeah. So Libra had no idea the whole time that S, the person that she's been chasing as her nemesis, was actually her best friend and stalwart companion. Alright, and then after that, we end up bringing back Sylvia, so that she's no longer being controlled by the darkness inside of her heart. And then we'll be heading into our next song here, which is RS Contact. I can't even pronounce. Well, you'll see. Because we're setting set up to get into the mid to finale for the story at this point. Things are getting very dark very quickly. Because now we have to get ready to head to the other side of the edge of the universe or cosmos to confront another character that we'll be meeting shortly. I do have to start focusing on some of these songs. I'll start reading again once we get to a few songs where I can actually do that in. Hope you all have been enjoying the visual spectacle going on with these story mode songs. Definitely one of the things that surprised me the most with this game, aside from it having 8+ hours of a visual novel attached to it. It's actually not too hard to control on keyboard, especially because we're only doing hard songs right now, but if we get a chance, we'll be doing Cosmos. But learning to play a rhythm game just takes time and practice, and then even if you feel like your hands are hurting at first, just play it until you're uncomfortable, stop, and come back to it. You'll get used to it over time. It's taken me about a year to get to the point that am at now, and I stopped playing over a decade ago when I was actually good, or significantly better. So now we got to do a song called Immorality, which is the song that leads up to the encounter with the next boss or character that... so we're gonna go ahead and swap here to our other companion that we met, which is Sylvia. And then head into this interlude song. Again, we're gonna ignore the April Fool's event stuff that's popping up for now. Maybe if there's time, we'll maybe do a couple of the silly trolls that they put in the game recently for a little bit, but... This whole section with the story around it kind of leaves in some pretty funny moments. But yeah, so we're flying through from the other side of space towards the castle to encounter our next character, who apparently is the last guardian that we need to ask to help us reach Yggdrasil, who is the mother of the universe. Yggdrasil being like the world tree. People know their mythos. But all the cosmic stars and stuff like that are all like part the waifu characters that we've been seeing. Like, they're all related to the astral signs. Like, we're going to the Tauros character of the game, which is the next boss. And we already met Libra. We also met the other character for like justice and stuff. I don't know my astral signs that well, but yeah, like it took me a bit as well when I was playing the story to understand that that's what was going on. I was like, why are the characters named like that? And that was the reason for it. But yeah, the main character behind a lot of the story right now that we haven't met yet is the Yggdrasil. We haven't seen her yet. And she has all of the information that Kalpa is seeking. And throughout all this, Kalpa's heart is growing very empty. It's being, like, she's trying to avoid being swallowed up by her own dread before the end of the universe comes. So anyways, we're heading into the prelude boss fight for the next character. This is our prelude boss fight music song. But we do get one hell of a song to follow this up. So there's the Tauros Guardian that I was talking about. And yeah, these songs are gonna get significantly harder. And this is all stuff that, like, I would say every one of you in chat watching can pick up and start doing with maybe a couple of weeks or months worth of practice. And at least get through them to the point that you're pretty close to being able to full clear them with some dedication. But mainly just focus on enjoying and having fun with the game. Mistakes and all, because that's sort of like part of the natural like progression and growth with getting into rhythm games in general. Because not everybody starts off amazing or good. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of skill. A lot of different types of skills that you don't usually use in video games, like sight reading and the ability to parse the charts really quickly. There's some people who don't even use sight reading at all, and they rely more on what they can hear as well. So that's other stuff to consider. So now we have the actual boss fight coming up, which is where... No, I didn't want to play this song. I forgot this song is, like, got a weird character on the title, so it doesn't like loading. Like, auto-searching for it. I'm gonna have to go find it myself. There it is. It's got that weird C. So anyways, here's our actual boss fight. But yeah, this is certainly a song. This one actually took me, when I first picked up the game, quite a while to actually get through and get all combo on hard. There's a couple tricky sections, and there's some effects and stuff in here that kind of threw me off that I wasn't expecting the first few times. And even when I knew they were coming, kind of made things a little interesting, or kind of reminded me a bit of like Mash VP with the screen shaking and stuff that it does. It's the character that I usually call Dommy Mommy. But apparently she is the bigger sister of the two twins that we met, or that I was talking about earlier, that we saw in a couple of the songs in the visuals. And apparently, Ag, who we met earlier, that was with Lovey, is also the other sister to them, so... Her parents had 4 daughters and a brother that we hear about in the story. I don't remember the details about him, because again, 8+ hours worth of story that I need to try to remember. But, their family was, like, vying between each other for the throne, and we all know how that goes, so... A lot of betrayal and things like that amongst the people around the throne. And I guess her younger sisters were sent off away while the older sister took over the throne, and the other sister left to do her own thing, or was like exiled, I think. I don't remember the specifics on that. But anyways, we end up like, during that fight, what's going on is the 2 youngest sisters end up getting absorbed into into her, and they have to like try to escape. Like she eats them essentially. She like just nums her younger sisters for some reason, and then we do this boss fight against her, and then yeah, so we have to defeat Akron so that we can get them out. It's pretty bizarre, but anyways. So our next song is Electric Comet. And this is where we start seeing the world tree start forming, which is our gateway to meeting Yggdrasil, who is the mother of the cosmos or universe. So a lot of stuff went down, but we can finally get towards the end of the game. But yeah, with the efforts of all the Guardians and the people we met along the way, we can finally try to reach Yggdrasil and stop the end of the universe. So we're deploying the tech that the youngest sisters helped make, and Lynn, who's a smart, she's a genius essentially. She makes every attempt to make sure that you know that she's smarter than everybody. Along with the younger sister, who's also pretty smart about things as well. There is one character that we haven't talked about yet, because we haven't even seen her in the cinematics during the songs. But she is a pretty integral part of the story, because she'll be coming up very soon. But Kalpa has a companion with her the entire time, besides just us, the performer, helping her along, who is the guide, more or less, to kind of provide her assistance. She's like the annoying Navi of the game, so you kind of tune her out after a while. So, you know, if you played like Zelda and you remember having a character like Navi telling you everything that you just heard, or repeating it back to you, or, you know, basically telling you everything you could possibly think of, Kalpa has a character following her around that does exactly that. And she's like super tiny too. She's like even tinier than the youngest sisters in the game, which is hilarious. Alright, so next we have Ouroboros, which is the interesting song. I'll let the song do most of the speaking for itself. But yeah, we're going through the world tree at this point. Or attempting to reach the inner part of the universe, where I guess Yggdrasil is residing. So we're traveling through time at this point, like time space. I don't know what they called it exactly in the game. Things get really wacky with. I should probably brush up on my lore of the game a bit more. But yeah, towards the back half of the story, there's like all the songs are very fun to play, but a lot more difficult for people who aren't maybe too used to rhythm games in general. But they're all fun patterns that are easy to pick up with a bit of practice. Like, I'm still weak on certain patterns and things like that, and I think every player probably has their weaknesses with certain things. At least at first. I think the one thing that really hurts most people when they get into rhythm games is they don't have the stamina at first to keep up with songs that are really aggressive with notes when they're very fast. But that builds over time, so don't worry. Like I said, you can miss a note or two. It's more important that your accuracy for the majority of the other notes is important. Missing a note or two isn't going to kill you unless you're playing one of the modifiers in the games where missing a note will kill you. But don't be playing on those when you're first getting into them. Alright, next song is Flutter Echo. So the deal with this song is that after going through the sort of time space, we end up getting transported into the past as the performer, separated from both Kalpa and the other characters. And the only characters that we end up meeting is the two younger sisters that saved us before we found Kalpa floating in space. So we got teleported back in time, apparently, to before this whole story began. And we need to figure out how to get back. I think it was smart of them, though, for the case of the story mode, to put like a more relaxed song here right after like the 3 or 4 songs in a row that they gave, especially if it was a new player playing a rhythm game, because like they would be exhausted at this point if they were trying to do this all in one go. But thankfully, the game between chapters, the way it's broken up, asks you to take a break, or if you want to take a break before continuing. Which is a good thing. It's like, it's 8+ hours, so you can get pretty tired, especially reading the game before I'd say outside of just playing it. There's not going to be too many happy-go-lucky songs left in the story mode set, except for like maybe 1, maybe 2, technically. And the rest are going to be some pretty heavy boppers. So after that, we have 7 Days of Genesis. Yeah, we have 7 Days of Genesis, which is what's going on with Kalpa at the time when we were teleported, or when we were sent back in the past. Because she was also separated, and she decides to sort of sing so that she can find her way back to everybody. It's a bit of a sad song because she's lost. But overall, not too much of a difficult song here, just a bit sad. I have a pretty good habit of finding games that I both enthusiastically enjoy because of the story or the music that's in it, and then they always get me like very emotionally attached to them in weird ways. And I think that's part of the reason why I continue playing the games for many, many years to come, which is good. Also, it's worth mentioning, I could have mentioned this way earlier on during the explanation, but you can actually play this instead of a highway style. You can actually play this as a drop-down. If you're used to playing the rhythm game as a drop-down, if I hit spacebar here, you can see right here that there's the ability on the left. You can see that you can do the drop-down instead of highway mode, which is nice. So, 2 different ways I kind of experience the rhythm game, because how it feels changes depending on that. So now we have Revival, which is the separation of the dark side of Kalpa that we like to call Kalpa's altered form. So we're going to go ahead and swap to that. Not a very difficult song, but we basically get to separate Kalpa from Kalpa, and we end up getting 2 Kalpas. Because apparently this side of Kalpa is the one that wants to end the universe and destroy all the worlds. And the Kalpa that we meet early on doesn't want to do that. Wants to save the universe. You know, we have double Kalpa. And the funny thing is, there's way more than one Kalpa. There's way more than one of every character. Because the one thing that version of Kalpa explains to us is that there's many universes that she'd already destroyed. And every time she destroys them, everything resets, including her memories for a time. Until the void comes to swallow up the universe to reset it. So there's like a whole, like, I guess a multiverse that's happening as well. It's very odd to try to explain without physically, like, showing and reading the story. But yeah, there's many universes that were already destroyed. But we just don't know why that needs to happen, or why it's happening in the first place yet. Which is further increases the need to go talk to see Yggdrasil at the center of the universe. Or should I say the world tree. But yeah, so that was the separation, the song that led us into the separation of the two Kalpas. And then now we have Spica, which is when we learned that the little Navi girl that's been following us around talking to Kalpa and the performer the entire can apparently turn into an instrument. Because we broke our violin. I don't remember her name. I think her name is Miho, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I remember her name being Miho. It's the only character that hasn't come up yet in the story that comes to mind. But anyways, yeah, so little girl becomes a musical instrument, so we play her as an instrument, apparently. So she finally becomes relevant in the story, other than in an annoyance. At least we got a good tune from her. been a while since I've done this song. And dropping the ball on some of these complicated sections. I'm also really bad when the songs change tempo. Usually where I suffer the most. Alright. Alright, so now that we're done with that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 songs left. Some of them aren't even that long. So we have 9 songs left, which is not a whole lot, to be honest. Alright, time for grabbing the star. This is where everybody ends up reuniting, and we're ready to go take the stand and make our way to Yggdrasil, because apparently it would be we were ascending a very long staircase, an infinite staircase, for over a couple months apparently. Somehow didn't starve to death. I don't know where to begin explaining that. You'll have to read the actual visual novel for the game at some point, but they get reinvigorated to continue pressing on after dealing with being trapped and separated and all that. So they're not going to give up just yet. Is there other companions and characters I was talking about? Probably gonna grab that star. Oopsies. Yeah, we're ahead. That's not very, well, I mean, RRLOL, it's pretty easy to come ahead, actually. We're, more often than not, we're usually ahead than behind. Which is why we always have that meme or that joke where it's like, when is RRLOL ever on time? Because it's either we're starting a run late, or we're finishing very often ahead of time anyways. So now we have Solstice. This is like during that ascent I was talking about, that we're climbing this like infinite staircase because there's some kind of like test that we have to pass in order to meet Yggdrasil at the very top of the world tree. Also, I got the previous character's name wrong. It's not Miho. Miho is the fox girl that we're going to end up meeting and get a song with, which I think is absolutely fucking adorable. How we've been enjoying the music and the visuals so far for a visual novel. Probably not what you expected from a visual novel, right? Or, as the devs call it, a VSRG. I do have one other VSRG that's on the shorter side, and it's really dumb. But I haven't put enough work and practice into it yet. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting fusion of genres as you're pointing at there, Fuddle. I mean, they have existed for a while. It's just they never really took off. They weren't really done in a way that made sense for the time. I think they only really started getting a lot more popular once we could do a lot more with them. All right, so now we're on to Happy Ever After, which is where we get to meet the character that I said that I would mispronounce the name. So this is Miho. So my bad. We got Fox Girl now. I mean, Rhythm Doctor, yeah, like, Rhythm Doctor couldn't happen without a lot of the tools and the ability to do the things that it does, because it's such an interesting game with how it interacts with things. So it's like, yeah, visual novel games with melds of different sort of genres technically have been done for a while. Maybe not with rhythm games, but definitely with like action games has been done, and RPGs. Like RPGs are kind of centric to, very closely bound to the visual novels because they share a lot of similarities with how the story is usually told, especially in the earlier games for RPGs. They were like, you could just basically see them as our visual novels. Because we didn't have like full motion cutscenes and things like that, right? This game just kind of adds that, like the motion with what would otherwise be a cutscene into the actual music itself as part of the story between the reading that you would be doing. And yeah, somehow they still managed to make a very fun and very competent rhythm game out of it, and very happy about that. Isn't she so cute? She's so I like that she starts off kind of sleeping and then she just kind of wakes up and she's just all ultra happy. And that was Miho's song. So anyways, we meet Miho, we're walking up the staircase, she tells us that it's a test, and we give her a cookie, and she loves cookies. Yeah, we kind of befriend her. She's sort of like she's her job is to protect the Yggdrasil from intruders, more or less. So now we have to play the Avatar, and this is the sort of last confrontation with our altered Kalpa. Before we get to face off against Yggdrasil and finish up the story mode set list here. So we're getting very close to the end. And we have some of the hardest songs from story mode coming up as well. Morning, Sopnim. So we're gonna break those chains off of Kalpa there. During this point as well, we're traveling through a black hole that Altered Kalpa had formed, which is trying to swallow us up and prevent us from meeting Yggdrasil to stop the world from being destroyed, or the universe. So while Kalpa is having a face down against herself, the performer agrees to go through with some of the others. They split up and go through the black hole in hope to use it as a way to travel back into the past and warn Miho that the Altered Kalpa was coming to steal her stone that she had hidden, which apparently has the ability to make black holes, so that we can avoid this confrontation. And we give her another cookie. That's what transpired so far with the story. Alright. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs left. So next we have Aspra Noctis, which I haven't full cleared yet, so you'll see why. But anyways, this is the first song that we get to do as we approach Yggdrasil. This is Kalpa's solo song to try to convince Yggdrasil that the universe is worth saving. But yeah, these next few songs are, well, except for the very last one, are difficult. Most difficult songs in hard anyways, for the story. I would say, like, at this point in the game, once you've gotten through the story, especially with the songs, so, like, this is where, like, the difficulty kind of starts getting you ready for, like, what the Cosmos stuff's gonna feel like. I'm actually very happy that song got played as well as it did, and we finally got the full clear, the all combo on it. Well, that's nice. So that's now marked off as done. So that's good. Now we have the separate song with the performer, Astra Lucius. This is the separate confrontation with the performer versus Yggdrasil. And then we'll have the combined Kalpa and performer song. So this is Yggdrasil. This is the mother of the universe. Or universes, I should say. She definitely looks like the mother that you would expect. I also have a time check. Maybe someone post in the chat what the current time check is. Just because I know, like, we have a very set time that this would take, but I'm just double checking. Much appreciated. Because we're, like, nearly done. There's very few songs left to do now. This is a hell of a good song, though. I really do like every song in this game. Like, I haven't found a song yet that I haven't enjoyed. The story mode songs are, like, very well done. Especially the boss ones, like this. Who knew a visual novel could be fun? 1:30. Okay, that seems about right. Yeah, because it's about 1:45 to finish the set. Alright, so next we have Planetarium Constellations. I have to go find that song because I can't write that. I need to look for these symbols. This one. Alright, so in order to give us a chance to survive against Yggdrasil, we have to get all of our friends together to have sort of like a final song, everyone together, before we do the showdown with the Yggdrasil. Because what ends up happening is Kalpa and the performer get locked into sort of like a stasis and trapped inside of Yggdrasil's mind. So they get together to try to sing to free them, because again, with this game, the power of song is the power of the universe. So our friends are going to save us now. And this gives us a nice little break from those two tougher songs before we get to play arguably some of the toughest songs to finish out the story with. And then there's one nice, very subtle, fun, subtle song to do at the very end to close out the story mode. That's, I would say, pretty easy, but if you were doing it all back to back, you'd be exhausted by that point, so it's kind of nice. But I think with the way they structured the songs, if you were playing them back to back, it was nice that they were like kind of mindful that they put sort of like, they didn't front load all the hard songs at the back or at the end. They're sort of like spaced out pretty evenly. Especially if you're gonna end up playing on, like, going through the Monocosmos, like, you definitely gonna need breaks. Alright, so we have two more songs left. We have the duet with Kalpa and the performer, and then we have the last song of the game. So time's going to be coming up very shortly here. Alright, so time for the duet. This is a 16. This is the hardest song that you would be doing chart-wise in story mode, normally. And this is our final showdown with Yggdrasil. To try to convince her to not destroy the universe. Because at this point, we learned that the whole reason the universe exists and why it resets the way it does and why Kalpa exists was because Yggdrasil was lonely and she created a daughter with this Kalpa. But she still wasn't happy with things, so... And decided that it'd be better if to reset the world and the universe, because she's getting tired of all of the destruction and things like that. Not enough peace and happiness in the world, and because she's also not happy, she thinks that something's wrong. So everything must be wrong. If she's not happy, then everything must be wrong. So gotta reset and blow up the universe. So we gotta tell her no. We have to defy our mother's wishes, even as her child. We won't blow up the universe. Yeah, like I said, this song's pretty difficult. Like, I missed a note here in the combo streak, but that's fine. It's also a long song, too. Definitely a boss song to go out on. Yeah, the song on Cosmos is instant death for me, unfortunately. You can do pretty much every other song, just not this one. At least not yet. Alright, we have one final song before we're done the story mode set. It's not a very long song either, and it's paying homage to certain painting in relation to the story that we were going through. So once you see it, you'll see it. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But anyways, we come to terms with everything that's happened. We forgive Yggdrasil, and she forgives everybody else, and decides that they'll do it one last time, and no more. And starts actually smiling for once instead of being miserable. So yeah, this is like paying homage with the imagery in the background to the Renaissance painting with the gods touching fingers with man. Or humankind, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. Or like the angels or whatever. It's been a while since I've seen the painting, but I just know that that's what that is. It's pretty obvious. So time will be coming up once we hit the results screen, once the song ends and it says clear. There you go. That is Kalpa, all story mode songs cleared on hard. So, yeah. Pretty good stuff. How much time do we have? Do we want to try showing some of the Cosmos stuff? If there's time to allow for that, have we heard back from the from Shiner yet about the rest? How are we looking? How are we feeling? Because we can definitely do a couple Cosmos songs. All right, you ping them. I'll throw up a Cosmos song or two. Alright, so this is Red Bullet. We're gonna attempt it on Cosmos. It's a very anime song. This is a 17, a comparison to what we went through. I'm still learning and practicing Cosmos stuff, but I can actually play them finally. I wasn't expecting that a month ago. Now it's just the get into the 90% or higher range and try the at least S or A everything. And then once I get more comfortable with them with more practice, then I can go for the full clears. Like we've been doing with hard mode charts. But I can survive them, and that's what's matter. That's the first step. Getting used to the patterns and being able to survive them. But yeah, quite a bit difficult, more difficult than what we just witnessed through the story mode. Alright, so next here... This is a bit of a banger here. This is Sound Chimera. This one's a good bop. Quickly became one of my favorites. We can already tell that the complexity movements that have to be made are a lot more difficult to do. Once you start getting into the Cosmos stuff. You got some pretty wacky patterns here. But yeah, we're holding up into the 90s, which I'm pretty happy about that. Especially for only recently getting into the Cosmos difficulty on the charts. Alright, what's another good one we could do? Oh, there's a fun one we can do. Let me go find that. This is a fun one. I don't know if I can do the 18. So we're gonna put it on practice. Because I don't want to crash the song while we start. Because that's another thing. This game has really good practice tools. I haven't played this, so this will be a blind 18 Cosmos of this song, but I've played the hard. But this is a very good one. It's really fun to play, so I'm very curious what the Cosmos looks like. But we can, like I said, put it on practice mode. and see how we deal. And that way I can do it for real. Also, this song has some pretty wild visuals for it, which is kind of funny. Lovey's just going ballistic right now. I know you want more back. 3, 2, 1, go! Very curious how we would have done. 93. Not bad. So we would have cleared. No problem. There's a couple sections that seemed a little scary there, but we pulled through that, so it's not a big deal. Anyways, we have taken up our 2-hour slot. I think we're gonna be heading into intermission. But yeah, there's a couple Cosmos songs out of the way since we finished a little bit early, but I'm not going to hold us up any longer from moving on. But yeah, if you like rhythm games, you should totally play them. And I will see you guys next week on Monday, for Monday night or Tuesday morning, depending on where you are for Voice of Cards.